All right, fellas, welcome back. We have week 9 in the college football slate. We have 3 plays for you today. Per usual, we're already almost in November, which is actually fucking insane. We were not even like in August a day ago, and now November, week 9, like 4 more weeks. Then we have like to dice it up. Thanksgiving's around the corner. Yeah, it's insane. It's flying by, but I do have 3 plays for you guys today. Let's hop straight into them. Let's waste no time. Jordan James. Don't know who Jordan James is. He's a running back at Oregon. Playing Illinois this week, which is a fantastic matchup. You might not know because not many people know the running backs for Oregon. Everyone just knows Dylan Gabriel. Jordan James, again, he's been playing really well. Illinois ranked number 20th if you haven't been following along with the college football rankings. And if you haven't, that's fine. Very completely understandable. But Jordan James has been absolutely cooking so far as we can pull up the props.cash. But make sure first, if you're not on Underdog, you use code BDGE when you sign up on Underdog because you get up to a free $1,000. Plus, you get a few free plays, which off the top of my dome, I do not know which are this week, but there's some sort of NFL free square for just half a yard. You get 2 of them. So you get 2 free plays up to $1,000. Plus, you get all these bonuses, which is pretty lit. I used already like 4 of them bonuses, and I'm using more on the NBA. So let's keep it pushing. I put out NBA plays every day as well on Twitter and Pickett. If you're not on Pickett, use code BDG as well. It's completely free to sign up, and you can tell all my bets. All right, moving on. But Jordan James, as you can see right here, has had a pretty good season so far. Hit this in 4 of his last 6 games, having over 100 yards in almost every game. Outside of the 2 games with Oregon State, 86 yards, and Purdue, 50 yards. Now, again, the Purdue game, a very unorthodox game for the Ducks, where I'm going to kind of ride this off on James here. But again, he's been averaging 17.3 rushing attempts per game. He's seen over 20 attempts in multiple games, seen 17 in the other game he hit. Unless he doesn't hit 17 attempts, I don't see why he would miss this line. He's going to absolutely crush, averaging 6 yards pretty much per carry. And again, this Illinois team is susceptible to the run. This is a perfect matchup. You're probably like, why? Over the past 3 games, which again, it's like the closest sample size we get of Illinois giving up 197.5 rushing yards per game. That is bottom 20 in all of college football right now. 197.5 rushing yards per game. Now, again, that does account for quarterbacks, but again, Dylan Gabriel ain't scrambling for 100 yards plus to really make that much of a difference. Where right now, I think Jordan James is the clear number 1 back in this backfield and is going to continue to dominate. Now, again, he's probably going to see a ton of attempts in this game, as that is Illinois' weakness, and Oregon's strength has low-key been the trenches this year, which has led to easy passing offense as well. But again, I think this is going to lead through the running game, since every other team that's played this Illinois team has had success there. Normally, if you're a coach, you're like, hey, where's other teams had success? The run game. Okay, what are we going to do? Probably run the football. It would make a lot of sense. He's also had some good breakoff runs. You know, you look at it, even his lows is like 10 and 12 breakout of longest rushes, which you'd love to see as well. But again, great volume. He's going to see all the volume in the world versus an easy matchup, cupcake matchup. And again, the spread of this game is 21.5. So if it's anything like that, anywhere near 20 points, they're going to be running the ball, trying to chew the clock, and I think it's going to run through Jordan James. So, yeah, that's my reasoning for that. A lot of narrative-based, but I think script-wise, it would make a lot of sense to rock with Jordan in this game. Heading into our next bet, we go to Nebraska, as we're going to take not Will Howard. We're going to take Dylan Raiola, higher than 172.5 passing yards. If you follow me on Pickett, you got it at 168. We got some value there, which you absolutely love to see. If we go to this Nebraska-Ohio State game, you will see Dylan Raiola's passing lines right here. He absolutely crushes this line. Why this line is this low, it makes me like scared. I don't know. 225 passing yards per game. Now he's going into an Ohio State game where he's going to have the best script you could possibly have of they're going to lose by over 20 points. That's what the book says. 20.5 is the line. As of right now, it was 22.5. It's gone down. Don't really know why. I think Ohio State's going to blow the brakes off this team. But again, Nebraska just played an Indiana team where they got crushed. Okay, let's look at what happened in that game. Threw for 234 yards and threw 44 fucking times. I think Dylan Raiola is going to be throwing around there again this week. Why? Because I think they're going to be down most of the game. I think the script's going to be there. When you have a young quarterback, a freshman quarterback, you want him to get reps versus the best teams. It sounds counterintuitive because you're probably like, well, if he sucks, why would you want him to get more reps because he's young, whatever. Because when he gets reps in a game where you're probably not going to win anyway. Like, I get it's a Big Ten game, whatnot. there is a large chance that you do not win this ball game. And with that being said, you want him to get as many reps as possible, see the field as much as possible, see the defenses that they line up in at the highest level of college football so he can see it, rep it, have film on it, practice it, and get – it's really sad that I'm saying this is going to be almost a practice for Nebraska, but it realistically is when it's a blowout game. You want him to practice versus these defenses so he can beat them in the future. And when he sees Ohio State next year, they have a better roster around him. They have a defense that might be able to stop Ohio State. Hey, you can see it. You've repped it. You played against it before. You know what to expect. That's what I think we're going to see a lot of. So that's why he threw 44 times last week. I don't think he's going to throw 44 times this week, but if he gets in the high 30s, I would not be surprised. And I think if he gets anywhere around there, he's going to have a better yards per attempt. Indiana runs a ton of 2 high shell. Ohio State runs a ton of 1 high shell. They also have better playmakers. That's probably why, because they can run more man. But I think it's going to really lead to a higher yards per attempt marker for him. Right now, again, if you can't really see it on the screen, but it is 7.7. And again, yards per completion here was at 8.4. I think that raises this week as well. And they're also passing the ball a ton in this offense. 66% of the time they're passing the rock, which is great for Dylan. And I think he's going to continue to absolutely cook, averaging 30 attempts per game, obviously. Probably going to be closer around the 28 per game with the 44 game last week. But when they play good teams, which they really haven't had a ton of this year, he's going to sling the rock in a large fashion. Again, Illinois, top 20 team, 35 times. Indiana, top-ranked team, 44 times. Ohio State, probably around the 35 to 40 times. So I think it's going to be a high-volume game, and I think his line is simply just too low despite how good the defense is. He might be running against the twos for some of this game, realistically. And I'm not saying that to diss him. I love Dylan Raiola. I use him in College Football Dynasty. I think he's a great player. I think he's one of the best recruits ever at the quarterback position. But he's a lot to grow there, and I don't think he gets it done this week. But I think he gets it done in the passing yard marker, so we're going to keep it rolling with that. That's our second play. Dylan Raiola, pair those two so far. And again, if you're not on Pickett, it's free to sign up. You can take all these plays. Plus, you see some of my basketball plays here as well. You can see where I take it on the books, how much I'm placing on it, which most of them are just full units because these are straights. You can see when I miss an underdog slip, which fucking blows, but we missed it by half a three-pointer. And, outside of that, you can see all the plays where I place them. You can see what play I'm going to next. Cam Ward, 2 passing touchdowns. Let's lock that in on the parlay. You're probably like, God, why are we betting Cam Ward 2 passing touchdowns? It's probably like a lot of you said last week with Cade. Cade ain't going to get 2 passing touchdowns. Well, now they're playing Florida State. You're like, well, Cade didn't get it versus Florida State. Well, Cade didn't get it versus Florida State because Clemson's humble. Miami's not. Probably like, what the fuck does that mean? Well, Clemson had the ball in the red zone 3 different times in the fourth quarter against Florida State. You know how many times they passed the ball against Florida State in the fourth quarter? 0. Absolutely 0 times. Or they had 0 completions, at least, in the fourth quarter. If I'm not mistaken, I think it actually passed the ball 0 times. If not, maybe 2 times at the most. They didn't pass the ball. They didn't get a single completion in the fourth quarter, bottom line. So they didn't really want to run up the score. They just wanted to make sure they secured the win and run out the clock. Cam Ward, on the other hand, in Miami, don't give a fuck. They average 48 points a game. They're going to run the score up. They're going to drop 50 on you. They don't care. They want Cam Ward to win the Heisman. I get it's narrative-based. I get you're probably like, gut, that doesn't make sense. If they're going to win the game, they just run out the clock. That has not been this Miami football team all season, and I don't think it randomly starts this week that they're just going to be like, yeah, no, now that we're up, we're just going to run the ball. They don't traditionally do that because they have a quarterback like Cam Ward, as he's hit this in 6 to 7 games, had multiple games of 4 touchdowns, had a game of 5 touchdowns, only missed this in 1 game so far this season. But in these games, he's passing the ball an absolute fuck ton. And I think he's going to continue to pass the ball a ton here tonight. Now, they are big favorites in this game. So you're probably like, oh, maybe he gets benched midway through the game. They're going to need to score 40-plus points for him to get benched at any point in this game. I don't care how much they're winning by. They don't do it normally. The only time they did it was like week 1 versus Florida when they were up by like 45 points. He already got over this line by that point in time. I think he could hit this line against Florida State team in the first half. If they put up 21 points, probably most of it will just be Cam Ward passing, which is like crazy to say on the surface, but also very true. Cam Ward's like the focal point in this offense. He's the focal point for this team. I think he's going to continue to be that this week in a game where, again, ACC game, big matchup game. They can't lose this game. I understand Florida State has a bad record, but they have a ton of playmakers. This could be a sneaky upset game against a susceptible Miami team. They can't let that happen because they know they will fall far if they lose to Florida State. So they have to win this ball game to stay in the top 10, to possibly make the top 5 if something happens in the top 5 this year and in this week. So, again, this line feels very locky to me. I love Cam Ward passing touchdowns. This play might be my favorite play of the day, which is why it was last. And, yeah, that's all of our plays here on Underdog. Again, use code BDGE when you sign up. Make sure to take advantage of that. Also, people always ask, what am I using here? What is this site? If you're not a big bettor, I would say don't bother with it. But if you bet all the time, you want to do your own research, use code GUT25. It is props.cash. Which you can take advantage of there. It is just pretty much gives you all the numbers you need to research bets all the time. But again, if you're not betting a ton, it's not worth it. It is pay every month, like $20 every month. So again, if you don't want to spend that, I completely understand. But if you do bet a lot, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, so here are the 3 top bets for the college football slate. Make sure to let me know what you guys are taking down below. If you have any questions, comment them down below. I'll try to get them to you as fast as possible. Make sure to leave a like. It's the freest and easiest way to support the channel. So I appreciate all you guys being here and listening to me yap for like 10 minutes. And I will catch you guys tomorrow for the Sunday preview. We'll have a little bit more plays for NFL. I'll catch you there. Peace.